Well, hello everyone. I hadn't planned on coming back on today and doing this video, but when Archangel Michael shows up and tells you you need to do a video about cords and why people attach them and why it can get you into trouble, I kind of like, okay, Michael, I guess I'll go ahead and do this. So, if you're new to the channel, I'd like to welcome you. I'm Reverend Dr. Elena Skyhawk, and this channel is about spiritual growth, spirituality, power animals, pretty much anything metaphysical or shamanic. I talk to animals, but I also work a lot with the archangels. And something happened yesterday that prompted this video. I mean, I've dealt with cords before from people. I've had to remove cords off of people. It's something Archangel Michael works very diligently with people on. But you have to know you have one to begin with. So what started this yesterday was I was on a call yesterday morning. Everything was fine. I was a little tired, but no big deal. But after I got off the call, I noticed I got very, very sick to my stomach, almost like there was a big hole in my abdominal cavity. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse as the day went on. I couldn't eat, couldn't drink, I barely could move. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck? Like I didn't do anything. And last night when I was sitting there talking with Archangel Michael and asked him to scan me to see if I had picked up something and something happened, there was some negative energy out in the auric field, which was easily removed. But when he started, I asked him to scan me to see if any cords had been attached, because I had felt like this a couple other times before. So I wanted to see if there was possibility of cord. So he scanned the front. He took his sword down to make sure there was nothing there. He went down both the right side and the left side of the body, above the head, under my feet. Everything was fine until he got to my back. And halfway down the back, you could feel him hit, that sword hit a cord. And it was a pretty good sized cord, like about that big around. Which explained why I had such a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach all day long and no energy. So he removed the cord. And then we had Archangel Raphael come in with his emerald green healing, fill the chakras back up with love and healing energy, making sure all the organs were replenished from the loss of energy. And then he saged me, and then they sprinkled holy water all over, just to make sure whoever had attached that cord didn't try it again. But since Archangel Michael is the head of the legions of warriors, his job is to trace that cord back to find out who it belonged to. And he did. He told me this morning they traced it back to who it belonged to, and he let me know that it had deliberately been attached to me to drain my energy. That is not okay, folks. You do not, under any circumstances, attach a cord to somebody, especially deliberately, to harm somebody, because there are karmic repercussions for things like this. And it doesn't matter whether you believe in karma or not. It doesn't matter if you know what the universal laws are or not. Truth is truth. Facts are facts. Whether you know about them or not, you still, as a soul on planet Earth, have to abide by universal law. And there are karmic repercussions if you deliberately harm a living soul. Doesn't mean it has to be human. It could be an animal, it could be a plant, a tree, Mother Earth herself, because we are all alive. We are all here put here by the Creator. And you do not have the right to harm, because if you do it deliberately, there's going to be karmic repercussions. So even with this cord, he would not tell me where the cord came from. He would not tell me who put it there, because he said it was none of my business. And I abide by that. The fact is, it was removed. The angels and the archangels, now it's in their hand to do whatever they do. But we need to talk about these cords because they're different, they're invisible, and they're energetic cords. There's many types. You can have a cord between a mother and a child, a husband and a wife, a sibling and a sibling, a grandparent and a grandchild. Those cords of love will always be there. So even when Archangel Michael comes in and does a cord cutting ceremony, cords of love never get cut because they come from love. But any other type of cord, whether it's put there deliberately, on purpose, or even inadvertently, because sometimes that does happen. Somebody is grieving, you go to hug them, which it happened to me. That's how I got introduced to cords. Something had happened to a coworker's son, and she just lost it and started crying. Everybody was hugging her. Well, again, if you're a person of the light, they're going to suck that light from you to fill themselves back up. Now, in that particular instance, she didn't do it deliberately. She was grieving because she had just gotten a phone call very bad about her son. So I went to my mentor because immediately, again, I had that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. I absolutely had no energy. I was falling asleep at my desk. And I called him up and I told him what had happened, how I felt. And he says, well, what happened? I told him about the coworker and her phone call about her son. And he told me to immediately come there as soon as I got off work. So I drove out to his house. He wouldn't even let me in his house. He made me go in the garage because he wasn't sure exactly what type of cord she had attached or why. Well, when he went to cut the cord and he used his feather to find it, and sure enough, she had attached it here at the heart. But when he took his feather and his instruments that he used to cut that cord, he turned around to make sure I was okay, because he went to turned around to get his sage, turned around to smudge me with it, and I was flat on the garage floor because when he cut that cord, there was absolutely no energy left in me. So I could not even stand. So he had to do some work on me and immediately called in the archangels and guides and everything to get me filled back up, and then checked to make sure that she hadn't done it deliberately. But he realized because of her grief, she didn't even realize she had done it. She just came in for a hug and she attached that huge heart cord and it sucked the energy right out of me. So yeah, there might be a little bit of karmic, paybacks that she might have had to do. Don't know, because I never really checked in with her that much afterwards. And my assignment ended shortly thereafter anyway. But when you deliberately attach a cord to a person, with the intention of harming them. That is an absolute no on a spiritual level, cannot be tolerated, will not be tolerated. And there are karmic consequences. There's always, whenever you harm somebody, there's always going to be consequences for your actions. Yes, we have free will, but with that free will comes the consequences of your actions. So once Michael removed that huge cord, and spiritual, when you look at cords, when people attach a cord to the front of your body, that's basically attaching it on the physical level. But this person attached it on the back side of me, which is our spiritual side. So they knew exactly what they were doing and deliberately drained my energy. Now, once Michael removed that cord, this sick feeling in the pit of my stomach went away within 15 minutes. And I was able to get a good night's sleep, and I feel great today. But when I woke up, Michael was, the video needs to go out. People need to know this is not okay to do. There are consequences for our actions. And if you do it deliberately, they're going to be a little bit more severe than if you inadvertently do it. So please be aware that when you meet people, when you say things, that you're attaching cords to people. And those cords can harm. And if you're on the other side of the fence and somebody has attached a cord to you, make sure you periodically scan your system. Ask Archangel Michael to come in and, if you're feeling weird and you're not sure where it came from, ask him to come in and scan your system and make sure somebody hasn't attached a cord to you. Because then he can easily remove it, and then he will trace it back and find out what they need to know on whether it was done deliberately or it just happened and you got in the way or whatever. But know that it is not okay to deliberately attach cords to people, especially to harm them, because it does affect people. So this is what Archangel Michael very insistently wanted everybody to know today, is just don't do it. If it's a cord of love, great. More power to you, to everybody else. But do not attach a cord to people, especially to harm them. Because there will be karmic consequences. And that's what Michael wanted everybody to know for today. It's like, I am so thankful for Archangel Michael and being part of the Warriors of Light. But please be respectful and mindful. And I think that's pretty much, I'm waiting to see if he has anything else to say. And he's not. He's like, that's it. He goes, I just want everybody to know it is not okay. And that if you do suspect that you have somebody attached a cord to you, there are ways of removing them. Easiest way is just to call on Archangel Michael, but there are other ways of doing it in the physical. And reach out if you have questions, because it's something I do work with quite a bit, and removing them from myself, but also removing them from other people. And there are ways you can spot on whether somebody has attached a cord to you that needs to be removed. So this is all that Archangel Michael had to say for today. And if you have any questions, please put a comment in and ask, and I will do my best to answer it. If I've experienced it, I'll let you know what I did and how I responded to it. And just be mindful. Share those love cords as much as you want, but not other ones. No. So that is all I have to say for today, Archangel Michael. Appreciate you listening. So do I. And we'll see what happens next on this funky journey of life. So goodbye for today and for now, and we'll talk soon.